Dzień dobry, witam Państwa bardzo serdecznie na Impact Fintech w Katowicach. Przez najbliższe 2 dni to będzie centrum rozmów o przyszłości banków, przyszłości pieniądza i o tym, jak startupy technologiczne, fintechowe zmienią przyszłość. Moim Państwa gościem jest Marko Wenthin, prezes Penta. Mark, I'm really happy to have you here. Thank you agreed to talk with us. One of the theme of this meeting, of this Impact Fintech conference is the future of the banks. And there was a famous quote from Bill Gates from 20 years ago that he stated that people need banking, but he's not sure whether they still need banks.
Yeah.
You agree with that?
In general, the question is what is a bank? You know, if you just look at this from the regulated part, it's very clearly defined what a bank is. But I fully agree with him that everybody needs the functionalities of a vibrant banking scene, of delivering accounts, delivering financing to the industries. The issue is, who does that and who is better at that? Is this the traditional banks in their current setup? Is it traditional banks in a new setup? Will they change towards this? Is this a combination of fintech and banks, or is it just specialists who do one thing very, very well in the future? But again, in general, I do agree that the banks themselves, as we know them now, and they will definitely have to change over the next years. And when you just look at this now, they have changed tremendously in the last 10 years, especially with the downturn in 2008. There was tremendous change going on, and this change is going to
The trust in the banking system was very low in 2008.
Oh, absolutely. And the question is, has it been fully restored? I'm not 100% sure whether this has been fully restored, because you can see it that with this 2008 event, this rise of the fintech world, with the technological changes which have happened over the years, you can see there's so many things going on. The customer behavior has changed, because just look at this. That was the time when the iPhone came out, so everybody is now using smartphones, and the behavior of social commerce, of banking, of how people consume, communicate, has changed dramatically compared to 10 years ago.
This customer experience, which is the main pillar of the neobanks, and I think the traditional banks are not so bad in that, especially in Poland.
You're making a very good commentary here about the Poland part, definitely, and this is why we don't see so many strong fintechs in Poland. That's not because fintech or Polish market is not interesting for fintechs. It is that Polish banks have a completely different standing when it comes to customer experience, when it comes to technology, to understand what the customer really wants, compared to, for instance, Germany, Italy, or France, where you had the traditional banks which haven't changed. But in Poland, when you just look what happened in the late 90s, early 2000s, there was many new banks coming into the market, and they were taking the chance of really defining the market in a new way. That's why I think the Polish banks are so much more advanced compared to others. It's a much more modern system, absolutely. Yes.
We have a BLIK, and we have applications in every bank.
Exactly, and just look at mBank is always quoted, but just look at Alio, look at many other banks which were in the markets, like Lukas Bank, Eurobank. There was so much things going on, so that the Polish banks many years ago started already the transformation into a more modern world, and they are a decade ahead of, for instance, Germany.
What do you think, in a long perspective and a short perspective, what the next year will bring and the next few years? I know it's difficult, you know.
Of course, it's a typical glass ball you're looking into. I'm pretty sure that we will see now that after N26, Monzo, Revolut, Tandem, and some other new bank in Brazil, that who have focused on the retail customers, on the consumers. Now, I'm very sure that this will happen now on the business banking side as well. because what
Focus on consumers.
Focus on customer, looking at the not just what a bank can do for a customer, but rethinking what business banking is. Now, business banking is not just providing an account to a company and maybe provide some lending to a customer, but thinking, what is the job to be done for the customer? How do they think? What is keeping them awake at night? And that is, from my perspective, more complex than on the retail side, because it goes beyond just the banking. Because a company has to think about legal issues they have, GDPR, PSD2, and many others. They have to think about marketing. They have to think about technology. They have to think about cybersecurity, about insurances, and so on and so forth. These are things which from my perspective, create a market for newcomers to look at this in a completely different way. We, for instance, at Penta, we have started with that already, not just looking at this from a business banking perspective, but from the perspective what we can do in order to help to professionalize company management in a digital age.
So that was a long term.
Yes.
And a short term. Do you think that the business will rise still, and we will
Absolutely.
see the numbers? These crazy numbers.
I think that short term we will see a certain consolidation. So there will be a certain merger, takeovers from larger players. But
There's currently mBank on sale from Commerzbank.
Yes, this is. I have my own opinion about this, because that's the crown jewel in the Commerzbank's portfolio, and if they sell that, what are they going to be left with, right? This is so I don't. I think they need the money in order to keep on existing, but I think they're doing a harm in the long run for themselves as a group.
So a consolidation in the next year will happen.
Definitely. You could see this already last year happening, that there is a consolidation within fintechs, but we will see consolidation as well on the banking market, and I think there should be more country mergers with banks in Europe, for instance.
Marko, I'm very glad you've been here with us. Thank you for conversation.
Yes.
Moim Państwa gościem był Marko Wenthin, prezes Penta. Marko, thank you.
Dziękuję bardzo.